So where were we at? So, like I was saying, that part, you just gotta jack it up, get it high enough so that we can get up under there, you can maneuver and do what you got. It's not very hard. Now, certain things I don't mess with. Definitely not with transmission stuff. Because where my yard was extremely dusty. Just, you don't want to get no specks of nothing in your transmission. I've always been told that. You go to a spot, mechanic spot, and they work on your car, and you walk in there dirty, you don't want to have your stuff worked in. They're taking apart an engine, the place is dusty, it's this, it's that, it's grimy. You know it's going to end up on your stuff. That needs 0 errors. So the place that I took it to, they had about 4 or 5 BMWs already in there, not including the ones that were outside. They had one with the whole engine, I think transmission sitting on crate. So push comes to shove, and she needs an engine, which I don't believe she does. I don't even believe she needs a transmission. I think it needs to be serviced. Might be low on fuel, might be low on fluid. Drain it, new fluid in, maybe do a differential. Call it a day. Call it a day. Because right now, like I said, like it's shifting. It's like searching for gears. It's shifting. I know when it's in first because it boom. It's like it don't slam, but it engages. You know what I'm saying? And that car's extremely smooth, so like it's engaging in first gear. What happens is when I first start it up, it goes from park, drive, back into park. And so the car has to sit for at least 20, it has to heat up. And the transmission don't heat up unless you drive it. And those cars are not to warm up sitting that long. It's to get rolling. You let it roll, you drive it, low RPMs for like, 2-3 minutes, the temperature gets up and going, and you go. This is a Florida car, so in my mind, I'm like, maybe they change the thermostat, maybe I'll change the thermostat or whatever, but, it is what it is. So right now it's in the shop. It's gonna get evaluated. We're gonna see what it is. If the transmission is toast, which I don't believe it is. Like I said, no slamming or nothing. It's searching. It doesn't know where it wants to be. It knows it likes to ride. But now I'm getting this weird thing where I got the car started. I let it sit and run. I drove it maybe 2 miles. Took off. Boom. I stopped, get out real quick, turn my truck because I have my truck running. Get back in it. Roll through a stop sign because I wasn't sure if it was downshifting all the way back down. And because getting it into first gear was always an issue that it won't do when it's warming up. It won't be in first. It likes to be in third. I don't know. So I got maybe about 2 or 3 miles. Stopped at a light. Took off. It didn't like that. Once I got through the light, again, it's like it was searching for a gear. Maybe I was in second gear, or third. The car didn't like that. And so the car wanted to reset it. And how do you reset it? Turn it off, turn it back on. Since it's warm, I guess it goes back. So it did that. Had my foot in the brake, started up, boom. It took off. I thought I ran out of fuel because I had no fuel in there. I had no fuel and low on oil. Extremely low on oil. It was green. Then it was below, the engine thing was red. So I had to go another mile to get to the gas station because actually I had a half a tank of fuel in there. But the car sitting, trying to, car sitting, idling, trying to get it up to whatever. The car ready, there was no miles. I know there was gas in there, but the car computes what what it would cover over a certain distance, and since it's sitting for so long, it said, you know what, I ain't got nothing in here. Well, of course you're gonna have something in if you start up. Because when I first turned the car on, it had 3 miles. So, and 3 miles was less than where I had to go to get fuel and oil. So, started back up, took her to the gas station. Then they drove on the opposite side of traffic because I didn't want to stop again and keep crawling to the spot. So I just gunned it to the gas station, got it over there, and doing about a quarter of a tank. Yeah, about a quarter of a tank. So premium, went inside, got four quarts of oil. First one didn't even register anything. Second one, it was still reading like not even at the minimum. Poured the rest of the second, put the third in, and I think I put about maybe half of the fourth. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure. I probably even opened the fourth. But I bought a total of 4, and car still reading. It didn't even register that I put the other 2 in. You know, but I got in it. Still was reading super low. I drove it, and maybe about half a mile or so, it registered that it was completely full. So I'm like, cool. Possibly 3.5. You know, like I said, 3.5 things of oil, whatever. So, car has a leak, and the leak is from the filter not being sat properly, so it just drips. And I assume maybe when it's driving, it leaks even more. It's not as pressure, but it'll just leak. It'll just leak out. You know. So, you know, they're gonna do an oil change on it, swap out, put that, you know, swap out a new filter in. Hopefully, that housing is good, and it just was a bad seal. So that'll stop that oil leak, which is a bad problem for the car. Because they can't sit nowhere for a couple of days because there'll be a puddle. So that'll be done and away with. Get up under there, clean it all up, you know. That'll be what it is. So that'll be another thing checked off the box, you know. They'll do the oil change, they'll check out the transmission, they'll do a flush, they'll, you know, top off fluids, you know. That's what I want done, you know. Front end suspension got to get done. I might do that. It's not hard to do. I think what was I hearing? It's the control arms that need to get swapped out. They're creaking and they're just moving all around. Except when the car just jerks, you know. So the control arms, both control arms need to get taken out and put it in. I could possibly do that myself. I probably gotta do the sway bar, but I think it's the controls that are creaking. It has a hard one. I'll get that done later. Right now it's just figuring out what's going on with that. Scary thing is the car shut down on me like 3 times. Shut down on me a mile, let's say from, you know, half a mile away from where I got started. Got it on the turnpike in New Jersey and got it on the highway, no problem. Was able to get it all the way to the exit that I wanted to get to for where I need to go. Got it there, and I got behind a truck, got the speed down, car didn't like that. Car went to limp mode. Just slowing it down, it went into limp mode and just shut itself off. You know, it went into neutral, and I just coasted. And then, you know, once I got the car to a stop, hit the park button, went and parked. Now, this time, a little more effort getting started. I possibly sat for maybe 10 minutes. You know, I started a couple times. It was start, cut off, start, cut off. I don't know if, like I said, if the transmission was still selecting the wrong gear, so the car was like, hey, it's still in third, this ain't right, cut stuff off, or if it's because of the misfiring, you know, it just, who knows. So, because a couple of months back, let's say December, I took the covers off, took spark plugs out, full of oil, sucked all that stuff out of there, cleaned it all up, put in like 1 or 2 coil packs, didn't do them all, because supposedly there's a recall on that motor. And that's the only way it flashes. Anyway, so supposedly there's supposed to be a recall on that motor. So I called BMW. Oh, we don't know nothing about that for that car. I'm like, yeah. All right. So, but other car does. So either way, we'll see. So anyway, we're just gonna ride it. We're gonna ride it. We're gonna enjoy it. I mean, I put on 5,000 miles on the car, and I totally enjoyed it. I finally got the idea of why get a 7? You know, why get a 7 Series? Why get an S5? You know, it's your you know, it's the sedan to get if you want a sedan, and you know, doing 120 miles per hour in that car was like nothing in there, nothing. 120 was nothing in that car, nothing. And the car's not even in tip top, nothing. So imagine if it's all sorted out. It was like nothing. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be all sorted out, and we'll have a new chapter of seeing what this 750 does. So this is part 2. See you guys later.